Sides, streaming now.
Hello and a very good afternoon to all Newsline viewers. I'm Neha Bhan. Let's take a look at some of the top national and international stories of this hour. We begin with the Uttarkashi Tunnel Rescue Operation that has now entered the 15th day. Let's get you the latest from the site. Now, in the latest update, vertical drilling to rescue the 41 trapped workers in Uttarkashi's Silkyara Tunnel has begun. The operation has entered its final phase with just a few meters of rubble left to cut through. The American auger machine is also being removed from the tunnel. The rescue authorities are now trying to remove the auger machine which got stuck inside the tunnel after its blades were damaged. Horizontal drilling operations have been suspended till the time the auger machine is removed from the tunnel. Plasma cutter machine has been brought in to clear the debris from inside the tunnel while work is on to get the auger machine removed from the tunnel. Manual drilling will be considered once the auger machine is removed. The authorities are also thinking of other options to complete the rescue. The Indian Air Force has flown in critical DRDO-made equipment to Dehradun, and from there the equipment will be taken to the tunnel site. A big drilling machine has been taken to the point from where vertical drilling is being considered. But this option is also not that easy as a lot of muck has fallen below. With several options and rescue plans being considered, officials have refrained from giving any time frame within which the rescue mission could be completed. They've expressed hope for a positive outcome once the manual drilling inside the tunnel starts.
अभी सुबह से प्लाज्मा मशीन जो हैदराबाद से आई है उसने काम करना शुरू कर दिया है और तेजी से कटिंग हो रही है। अब कुल 14 मीटर शेष बचा हुआ है जो आगर मशीन को काट के निकालना है। लगता है कि जल्दी ये काम हो जाएगा अगले कुछ घंटों में। उसके बाद मैनुअल काम शुरू होगा डीलिंग का।
The plasma machine, we're still cutting the auger to get the screw out. There's about 16 meters more of auger to cut. We're getting about a meter an hour at the moment. So
it is reached yet?
I don't know yet at the moment. We don't know if it's reached, but we're setting up a second tunnel at the moment. So beneficial is that it'll cut the steel faster. So at the moment we're using argon cutter. The plasma machine is a lot hotter, cuts the steel much faster.
We may have an unusual situation occurring here in the Himalayas where the class of rock changes, which is not something, it might. Now I'm not, it's because the area that's collapsed.
But that needs to be investigated.
It has to be investigated, and the area that collapsed hadn't collapsed before, hadn't even given any clue that it was going to collapse before. So this is part of the challenge for us in an engineering scientific sense. What is it about the ground here, this mountain, that caught us on the back foot? Why has the engineering not supported the way it should? And the question you asked me before, that might be part of the answer, but I don't know at the moment.
Now, my colleague Nivriti Mohan is in Uttarkashi from past 5 days. She's been getting us day-to-day updates on the rescue front. Let's take a look as to what she has to tell us about the rescue operations and how much time will it really take for the authorities to rescue the 41 trapped workers. Take a look.
The plasma cutter has arrived here and the cutting of the struck portion of auger machine has begun. Also, the pipe that had bent is also being cut, and after that only the drilling can start. Drilling won't start actually because authorities are now exploring the option of manual digging, and for that they want the auger machine to be withdrawn from the pipes because it is stuck inside and the work is not being done right now. So the plasma cutter that has been brought in from Hyderabad is here now, and it is cutting the stuck part of the auger machine and the pipe that is bent. So the latest update, from the site is this, and also the manual digging that will take place after the machine, the auger machine is withdrawn, is going to take time, because they have to dig up to 20 meters at least if the distance is not enhanced further after the machine is withdrawn, because there is a possibility that distance may increase, because pipe will be cut and the muck will increase there. So the part that is to be digged manually can increase, the distance to reach the workers can increase, and it is going to take time to dig it manually and reach up to the workers. And also the authorities are exploring other options also. The next best option that is being explored is the vertical digging that will take place from top of the mountain, and this is the road that BRO has built. You can see the road that BRO has built. It is a 1.2 kilometers of road to the top of the tunnel, from where the vertical drilling will start. You can see the laborers out there working on the road on top of the tunnel. This is not the exact point, but it is a few meters away from this place, and from there the vertical drilling will start, and they will have to dig vertically up to 80 to 100 meters, and that won't be very easy because vertical drilling has its own risks. They will have to first of all find out whether there are any aquifers inside, how much of cavity has been created inside, because the muck has fallen in the tunnel and the soil has fallen in the tunnel. Of course, there must be a cavity created. So all these things will have to be taken care of before they drill. After the workers are rescued, arrangements have been made. You can see, as we have been already showing you, that there is a temporary medical facility set up there, where the primary health checkup will be done, and then you can see the ambulances parked down there. There's a special parking there, and you can see a few ambulances there. Like this, until yesterday there were many ambulances, because there was a possibility that the workers trapped inside will be rescued. But because now there are grim chances, day or 2 days, so the number of ambulances parked here has reduced, but the ambulances are parked 2 to 3 kilometers away, so around 40 ambulances are nearby. So through these ambulances they will be taken to a 41 bed facility in Chinyali Sor, and every arrangement has been made, and if there is a need and somebody needs more medical facility and it is not sufficient for them here, so they will be airlifted to Rishikesh Ames Hospital from the specially made helipad around 6 kilometers from here. So these are the arrangements that have been made, and every care is being taken, and authorities, the relatives who are present here, they are regularly speaking to their people who are stuck inside, and medicines are being supplied, vitamin D tablets are being supplied, because so that the workers stuck inside do not face the deficiency of vitamin D due to lack of sunlight inside. So everything, every day doctors are talking to them, psychologists are talking to them to take care of their mental well-being also. So this is what is happening right now. All the options that are being explored have their own risks, but authorities are trying their best to evacuate the workers from inside. It may take some time, but gradually we may be able to, anybody, the authorities, the workers, the agencies who are working here for the rescue operation are hopeful that though it may take time, but all the 41 workers trapped inside will come out safely. That is what they are hoping for. Now what our authorities doing is to give connectivity to the workers. You can see this BSNL instrument here. So the mobile connectivity is what they are trying is that workers are connected 24/7 to their relatives, to the authorities, everybody, because until now what was happening was that they were speaking to the people inside through microphones and speakers, but now the authorities have set up a connection. They are trying to set up a connection. So you can see the equipment here that is that has been placed here, and the wires are being taken to inside the tunnel so that the workers, 41 workers who are stranded inside for almost 15 days now, are connected 24/7 with their relatives who are waiting for them outside, and to the authorities, and to rescue workers, and to the mess where the food is being prepared for them. So everything is being taken care of, because it is going to take time. Earlier they were expecting that they will be coming out soon and work was going at a fast pace, but because the time has increased, so the authorities have decided that this connection should be provided to the workers trapped inside.
हमको पता चला यहाँ जो मेस में खाना बना रहा है, तो एक काम तो कैसे 2-3 बार कर यहाँ से गया है घर पर, फिर आता था तो बताकर नहीं आता था कि हम कहाँ जा रहे हैं। जब आ जाता था तब बताता था कि हम पहुँच गए हैं। तो पहले जब बात हमने की तो हमने ये कहा कैसे हो बेटे, जो भी बात करेगा तो यही कहेगा। तो कहने लगा हम ठीक हैं, और हम कहने खाना उना की व्यवस्था आप घबराते तो नहीं, खाना पीना पाते हो? कहला हाँ पाते हैं पापा। घबराते तो नहीं? घबराना मत बेटे, एक दूसरे जितने लोग हो टीम साथ में, एक हंसकर जीना है, जंग लड़के बाहर निकलना, घबराना नहीं बेटे। कहला नहीं पापा, हारने वाले में के हम नहीं हैं। कहने लगा और ठीक है सबका हाल चाल? हम कहने ठीक है। आप कहा खाना पीना खाए रहना? हमने कहा बेटा आप खाना पीना खाए रहना, हम सब बने रहना, हिम्मत मत हारना, काम जारी है, चल रहा है। सरियों का झुंड लोहे का आगे पड़ गया है, गाटर वगैरह, तो वो काटने में समय बीत रहा है। वो सब जब कट के साफ हो जाएगा, जहाँ साफ हुआ तहाँ बाहर हो जाओगे।
मेरे अंदर भाई फंसे हुए हैं जिनका नाम सबा अहमद है। यहाँ कंपनी में वो सीनियर फोरमैन के पोस्ट पे है। मेरे से पर डे उनसे बातचीत होती है, 2-3 बार 4 बार बात होती है। वो लोग सब अंदर में बढ़िया से हैं, लोग मज़े से हैं, कोई तरह का अंदर में प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। हर चीज़ खाने पीने का अवेलेबल है, बाहर से भेजा जा रहा है। कोई तरह का जो भी उधर से वो लोग रिक्वायर कर रहे हैं वो सामान इधर से भेज दिया जा रहा है। मैं यहाँ 13 तारीख को आया हूँ, 13 तारीख से अभी तक मैं पर डे कॉन्टेक्ट में हूँ। इस तरह का तो कभी हादसा मैं देखा नहीं हूँ, और जो हादसा हुआ है इसमें सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट भी है, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट भी है, सब शामिल है। जो भी बाहर से भी टीम आई है, बहुत एक्सपर्ट सारे लोग आए हुए हैं। ये लोग सब एकजुट होकर के कंपनी के साथ काम कर रहे हैं। ये बहुत बड़ी बात है, ये बहुत खुशी की बात है।
उम्मीद भी होती है
सब लोगों को यही उम्मीद लगा हुआ है कि जितना जल्दी हो सके वो लोग 41 आदमी बाहर निकाल लें। वो सब घर के बारे में, सब फैमिली वाले लोगों के बारे में पूछ रहे थे, सब लोग के बारे में बता दिए कि सब लोग बढ़िया से है, कोई तरह के किसी को ये नहीं है, तुम अपना बढ़िया से रहो, तुम्हारे को कोई टेंशन ना लेना है। जो भी है यहाँ से कंपनी जो भी हो रहा है, जितना जल्दी है तुम्हारे लोग को बाहर निकालने का प्रयास कर रही है, और बहुत जल्दी आप लोग बाहर आ जाओगे। मगर ये भी अपने भाई को बोला हूँ कि जितना भी लोग हैं सब लोगों को मिला के चलो, सब लोगों को हौसला दो कि हौसला नहीं हारना है, और जितना जल्दी है आप लोगों को बाहर निकालो। सेहत के बारे में बोला, सबकी सेहत ठीक है, किसी को कोई तरह का ऐसे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, सब लोग बढ़िया से रह रहे हैं।
Moving on now, in the latest coming in from Manipur, Chief Minister Biren Singh has said that the Manipur government is in talks with an underground insurgent group and a peace accord is expected to be signed soon. The Chief Minister did not name any particular insurgent group but said that the government was expecting to sign a peace accord with a big underground organization very shortly. Now, this is the first time an official confirmation has come from the government with regard to the insurgent groups and initiating a dialogue of peace with them. Manipur has been witnessing a turmoil since the 3rd of May, with tensions rising between the Kochi and the Meiteis. An ethnic violence broke out on the 3rd of May between these two communities. The Kochis and the Meiteis, over 150 people have lost their lives. Hundreds others have been injured, and this is the latest coming in from the state of Manipur. From this tiny northeastern state of Manipur, Is it close to peace? That is the big question that we are asking. Now, Chief Minister Biren Singh has said that the Manipur government is in talks with an underground insurgent group and that may lead to a peace accord being signed. At least 4 students died and over 60 were injured in a stampede situation at a concert in Kochi University of Science and Technology on Saturday. Now, Kerala Health Minister Veena George said the injured students were taken to Kalamassery Medical College. The Chief Minister has reacted. The Vice Chancellor of the university has also said that the stampede took place when it started raining, and students from other colleges also attended the event with almost 2,000 people inside. Let's take a look at what went wrong at the college concert event. The incident took place during Nikita Gandhi's music concert. Now, sudden rains caused people to rush for shelter. Entry to the program was reserved only for ticket holders, but it is reported that a lot of local residents without tickets were also let in, leading to massive overcrowding. Kerala authorities are looking into the matter and a thorough search is also underway.
This is a shocking incident. We lost three students and one outsider in this incident. It's about it. First, this is happened in Kerala first time. It's an unexpected thing. Now, both of us were in Calicut. We came here. We visited all the patients in the ward. 2 patients are in the ICU. 2 students are in the ICU of another hospital, Aster. 2 persons, 1 student and an outsider at the Kinder Hospital. 2 who are in the ICU of Aster Hospital, their condition is little critical.
You know, there was a college arts function being held by the School of Engineering. We were having a music program. The invitees were asked to come in a particular black T-shirt. This is what we understood. We have not confirmed, in black T-shirts, and their own volunteers were actually allowing them by verifying and all these things. Suddenly, it is some of the people have said that there is sudden rain, and people who are on the sides try to get inside because only the cover is inside that. It's a freak incident. So suddenly, people who are in the step side, they fell together. I mean, they fell down, and people walked over them, and they got. This auditorium has a capacity of 1,000, maybe 1,500 people. It was not even half filled. Not even half filled. It was khali. You know, there were people all along the sides, and the organizers were allowing them inside. You know, in batch or something like that, based on identity. It is said by some of the eyewitnesses that the sudden rain, they tried to get inside because the cover is already there. That pushed the people who are on the edge of the, the steps, and they fall down. And it appears to be a freak incident.
Today marks the 15th anniversary of the horrific 26/11 terror attacks in Mumbai. The whole nation is paying tribute to the fallen heroes who laid down their lives defending the nation. President Draupadi Murmu took to X, formerly Twitter, to remember the victims of the terror attacks. The president paid homage to the valiant security personnel who laid down their lives for the motherland. Right on your screens, she said, a grateful nation remembers with pain all the victims of the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. We stand with their families and loved ones in honoring the memory of the brave souls. I pay homage to the valiant security personnel who laid down their lives for the motherland. Recalling their supreme sacrifice, let us renew our pledge to battle terrorism in all forms everywhere. A memorial was also held at the Mumbai Police Headquarters. Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde and Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis solemnly honoured the fallen heroes. 15 years have passed since 10 terrorists from Pakistan landed in Mumbai using the sea route and opened fire at iconic places like the Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminal Station, the Oberoi Hotel, the Leopold Cafe and the Taj Hotel. The operation to neutralize the terrorists took about 3 days, and the supreme sacrifice of several other officers of the Mumbai Police and several Indian security forces. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also remembered the martyrs of the 26/11 terror attacks in his monthly radio address Mann Ki Baat. Calling the incident the most dastardly terror attack, the Prime Minister said the nation can never forget the day of 26th of November.
आज 26 नवंबर हम कभी भी भूल नहीं सकते हैं। आज के ही दिन देश पर सबसे जघन्य आतंकी हमला हुआ था। आतंकियों ने मुंबई को, पूरे देश को थर्रा कर रख दिया था। लेकिन ये भारत का सामर्थ्य है कि हम उस हमले से उबरे और अब पूरे हौसले के साथ आतंक को कुचल भी रहे हैं। मुंबई हमले में अपना जीवन गंवाने वाले सभी लोगों को मैं श्रद्धांजलि देता हूं। इस हमले में हमारे जो जांबाज वीरगति को प्राप्त हुए, देश आज उन्हें याद कर रहा है।
Let's now take a look what's been happening at the climate front. Now, a huge lava flow in Sicily has grabbed everyone's attention, which is pouring out from the southeast crater of Europe's tallest and most active volcano, Mount Etna. Etna Observatory's National Institute of Geophysics and Volcanology has issued an alert for all the flights flying in the region. This has been done keeping in mind that the International Vincenzo Bellini Airport in fact is still functioning. Authorities are closely monitoring the situation, emphasizing the safety of air travel and local communities amid this breathtaking yet potentially hazardous volcanic activity. The world's largest iceberg, A23A, is on the move after 3 decades. The Antarctic giant, which is 3 times the size of New York City, is drifting past the Antarctic peninsula, propelled by winds and currents. Scientists are monitoring its rare journey and are unsure if it will impact wildlife or shipping routes.
This iceberg is one of the oldest icebergs in Antarctica, as well as being the largest at the moment. And it broke off the ice shelf in 1986, and then it remained grounded on a high point of the sea floor, quite close to where it broke off, and it stayed there for about 30 years since the mid-80s. And then in the recent years, so since around 2020, we first started to see it moving a little bit, and now it's moving relatively quickly up the eastern side of the Antarctic Peninsula and out into the open ocean. Where it was grounded quite close to the continent, the ocean is very cold. It has moved around a little bit, but I think it over time, it's probably just thinned slightly and just got that little bit of extra buoyancy that's allowed it to lift off the ocean floor and get pushed by the ocean currents. You know, an iceberg of this scale has potential to survive for quite a long time in the Southern Ocean, even though it's much warmer and it will start to melt more quickly. It could still make its way reasonably far north up towards South Africa, where it can disrupt shipping.
Wildfires in Bolivia have ravaged at least 11,000 square miles of land, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Firefighters are battling the blaze despite scarce resources. Take a look.
This indigenous volunteer firefighter in Bolivia has been battling wildfires for months. With hardly any equipment and no professional medical help, Wilson Pider Huari Chow says his task is nearly impossible.
We've been suffering with these wildfires for over 2 or 3 months. We are here every day, facing the heat, the fire, because of our love for our nation, our land, Mother Nature, and the animals. Often we don't have anything to eat. We eat a small lunch at 4 or 5 in the afternoon, but we don't have much more. We have no provisions. We need to get the water ourselves 4 or 5 kilometers away from here. Women carry the water. That is our work.
The wildfires have torn through more than 11,000 square miles of land so far this year. with firefighters and police using hoses, sprinklers, and even bottles of water to try to hold back flames. Over a dozen people have died, schools have been closed, and flights have been canceled. Guillermo Medina's community was affected.
Todo. Sembradíos, vegetaciones, injertos, cafetales.
Everything was burnt. Crops, vegetation, cuttings, coffee plantations, citric plantations, banana plantations. In other words, it devastated everything. It didn't leave anything. For this reason, now we don't have anything. We have been demanding food for days because we have children, and we live off agriculture.
Nosotros tenemos nuestros hijos, o sea, nosotros vivimos de la agricultura.
The government has been asking for international aid, and so far Venezuela, Chile, Brazil, and France have answered.
Now, Lahore, Pakistan retains its position among the world's top 4 most polluted cities. On Saturday morning, the air quality index in Lahore hit a score of 230, prompting significant measures. Due to the alarming pollution levels, the Punjab government has decided to close schools on both Saturday and Sundays. Additionally, government offices in Lahore will remain shut as well. Markets, however, will open only after 3 p.m. on Saturdays. The state government attributes this hazardous pollution to the burning of stubble in neighbouring countries. In response, cloud seeding plans are in progress. The aim is to induce rain, which may help disperse the lingering smog and haze in Lahore. Authorities are actively working to address this environmental crisis. South Asia has become the global hotspot for air pollution, with studies finding 4 of the world's most polluted countries and 9 of the 10 most polluted cities are in the region.
South Asia has become the global hotspot for air pollution, with toxic smog disturbing the lives of millions of people across India, Pakistan and Bangladesh.
Because of severe pollution,
it's become very difficult to breathe. There's a lot of smog, it's difficult to breathe.
Studies found 9 of the world's 10 most polluted cities are in the region. And while causes like industry and vehicles affect most countries, certain major contributors are unique to South Asia. Let's take a closer look. Solid fuel combustion for cooking and heating, human cremation, and the burning of agricultural waste all worsen air quality in the region. In New Delhi, about 38% of this year's pollution has been caused by stubble burning. It's a common farming practice to clear the fields after the rice harvest. An increase in the number of vehicles on the roads as the region develops is also exacerbating the pollution problem. In India and Pakistan, traffic has increased 4-fold since the early 2000s. Over the last 2 decades, South Asian countries have seen rapid industrialization, economic development, and population growth, leading to an increased demand for energy and fossil fuels. And even though countries have started trying to curb pollution, the measures so far have had limited effectiveness. To curb stubble burning, for example, governments can offer subsidies on better harvesting machines. But demand has been limited due to machinery costs and long waiting times.
Bangladesh has invited foreign observers, especially from the Western nations, for its upcoming general elections, which are scheduled to take place on the 7th of January next year. This invitation to foreign dignitaries was extended by the Foreign Secretary of Bangladesh, Masood bin Momin, while he was at Bangladesh High Commission in New Delhi. Momin was attending an outreach event at the High Commission with around 90 Delhi-based diplomats who are concurrently accredited to Bangladesh. The invitation to foreign observers comes at a time when Bangladesh has come under growing pressure from the Western nations, especially the United States, to hold free and fair elections and to also hold talks with the opposition Bangladesh National Party. Momin, however, pushed back on the West's proposal to hold talks with the opposition, saying that there was no time left for any more political dialogue with the BNP. Momin assured that the elections would be inclusive as several number of parties would be contesting and all the parties would be provided an even contesting field.
I met many ambassadors and representatives from missions which are concurrently accredited to Bangladesh, and briefed them about our socio-economic development, briefed them about Bangladesh-India relationship, and also briefed them about the latest political situation in Bangladesh and our preparations for holding a free and fair election on 7th of January. Many of these ambassadors cannot go frequently to Bangladesh, and ambassadors in Bangladesh, we reach out to them more frequently. So I thought that they should hear directly from me and then report back to their capitals, so that these misperceptions and rumors have no place in their reporting. No, I mean, with US we have a long-term relationship, and the last couple of years we have engaged with them at various levels. There were a number of senior officials from the US side visited Bangladesh, and also many of our senior officials, including myself, we visited the US. So I think at the official level, we have good communication. But perception is that, from time to time, that the situation or the relationship has some problems. But US has assured us that they have no favorites in our elections, and they would like to see a free and fair and peaceful elections, which we are also committed to. So I don't see any big problem. Their ambassador went on a personal trip, so that is perfectly all right.
In Rome, thousands rallied demanding an end to violence against women following the tragic murder of 22-year-old university student earlier this month. Eyewitness video captured the impassioned crowd chanting and marching through the city streets. Nationwide protests reflect growing outrage and a call for change. Italian lawmakers responded by pledging to tighten measures against violence towards women, approving a set of initiatives on 22nd of November to enhance protection for vulnerable women and combat femicide throughout the country. The collective outcry underscores the urgent need for action and awareness to address gender-based violence. A march by hundreds of women demanding justice for femicide victims on the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. Chanting and brandishing placards, protesters spotlighted gender-based violence issues, including rape, child pregnancies and murder. The mother of a femicide victim joined the march, expressing concerns about her daughter's murderer potentially being released. Authorities recorded 110 femicides and over 110,000 cases of family-related gender-based violence this year. The impassioned demonstration underscores the pressing need for addressing and combating pervasive gender violence in Peru. Protests were also seen in Madrid, where thousands rallied on Saturday for the International Day of Non-Violence Against Women, denouncing patriarchy and urging governments to take affirmative action. People were seen marching along Gran Via Avenue, holding the banner, "It's over." The protesters, dressed in purple, angrily chanted against violence. They also expressed solidarity with Palestinians and waved flags and staged a performance at Madrid's City Hall. 1,273 women have lost their lives in gender violence in Spain since 2003, while with 52 fatalities in 2023 alone. The powerful demonstration highlights the urgent need for societal change and government intervention to combat the pervasive issue of violence against women. In a newly unsealed legal complaint, Meta, the parent company of Instagram, is under scrutiny for allegedly mishandling reports of users under the age of 13. The complaint filed by the Attorneys General of 33 states reveals that despite over 1.1 million reports since early 2019, Meta disabled only a fraction of underage accounts. The social media giant is accused of collecting children's personal information without parental consent, violating federal children's privacy laws. The company may face significant civil penalties if allegations are proven. According to the complaint, Meta had knowledge of millions of Instagram users under 13, yet continued to allow them on the platform. The charges are part of a larger federal lawsuit accusing Meta of concealing internal studies on user harms. The unsealed filing provides details from the state's lawsuit, including internal emails and employee chats. It alleges that Meta actively sought underage users, failing to prioritize effective age checking systems. Meta responded, stating it has worked for a decade to ensure online safety for teenagers and criticizing the complaint for mischaracterization. The company contends that Instagram's terms prohibit users under 13 and it has measures in place to remove such accounts when identified. Meta suggests that age verification is a complex challenge, advocating for federal legislation to require parental approval for teens downloading apps. The privacy charges revolve around the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, with potential fines exceeding $50,000 per violation. The lawsuit argues that Meta neglected to build systems to detect underage users due to their perceived importance as a crucial demographic for future growth. The filing highlights internal company data indicating Meta's awareness of underage users and the automatic dismissal of certain reports of users under 13. This legal action follows Meta's 2019 settlement with the Federal Trade Commission over privacy violence, emphasizing the ongoing challenges in managing underage users on digital platforms. Let's now get you the latest from the Israel-Hamas war.
The following content may contain visuals that are disturbing, graphic, or sensitive in nature. Viewer discretion is advised. This material is intended for mature audiences and may not be suitable for all viewers. Please exercise caution while watching, and if you find such content distressing, we recommend discontinuing viewing. This disclaimer is provided to ensure awareness and to prioritize viewer well-being.
The war between Israel and Hamas has now entered its 51st day. Let's get you the latest update right on your screens. Now, second batch of hostages, 13 Israelis and 4 Thai nationals released by Hamas arrive in Israel. Israel frees 39 Palestinians, including 6 women and 33 minors. Israeli troops kill 6 Palestinians in West Bank. Hamas threatens to delay next hostage release over Gaza aid dispute. 14,854 Palestinians, including 6,150 children, have been killed in the war. Nearly 2 months into the Israel-Hamas war, a 4-day pause in fighting began in Gaza on Friday as part of an agreement between Hamas and Israel. Hostage release was a part of the agreement, owing to which Hamas handed over 13 Israeli hostages and 4 foreigners to the International Committee of the Red Cross on Saturday night. Qatar's foreign ministry said after a brief disruption earlier to the deal to free captives was overcome with the mediation of Qatar and Egypt. Tension continued into the night outside Israel's Ofer military jail at the Bichunia crossing near Ramallah in the West Bank on Saturday, where gunfire was heard before a wounded person was taken away by medics. Earlier, 3 people were reportedly injured by live bullets, according to the Palestine Red Crescent Society. The jail was the scene of Friday's handover of Palestinian prisoners from Israeli custody as part of the Gaza hostage swap deal and ceasefire. Earlier, the armed wing of Hamas said it had decided to delay Saturday's scheduled second round of hostage releases until Israel met conditions, including committing to let 8 trucks into northern Gaza, and claimed Israel was failing to respect the terms of the Palestinian prisoner release agreed as part of the hostage deal. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu closely monitors the operation to bring back to Israel a second batch of hostages freed from Hamas captivity. Netanyahu, along with National Security Advisor and other military officials, were at the military headquarters in Tel Aviv as Hamas fighters released 17 hostages, including Israeli women and children, as well as Thai farm workers during the second day of the war's first truce, the Red Cross said. The official release happened later in the night after a brief disruption earlier to the deal to free captives was overcome with the mediation of Qatar and Egypt. The Israeli army on Sunday released a video of a 9-year-old hostage who was held by Hamas running into her father's arms as she was brought back to Israel after spending her 9th birthday as a captive in Gaza Strip the day before. Take a look.
And I have to tell his father to give him a hug and say I'm sorry again.
Hostages released by Hamas under a Qatari broker deal with Israel. She appeared in good health along with fellow hostage Hila Rotem, whose mother remains in Gaza.
Emily Hand is a closure for me because unfortunately I'm the one who told her father that she has been found murdered. And a week later, I'm the one who told the father that she probably captured. So it's a kind of a relief for me that she's still alive, she's here, she's with us.
Ahmed Solvi, who is the chairman of Kibbutz Beri, where the Han family lived, expressed relief that Emily was alive and back, having initially delivered news to her father that she was dead after the 7th of October raid by Hamas. Solvi and other community members were watching video of the release of the hostages at the Dead Sea Resort, where most of the kibbutz residents were evacuated to after the raid. Hundreds of Palestinians welcomed freed prisoners in the early hours on Sunday in the West Bank. Footage appeared to show released prisoners being carried on people's shoulders as crowds cheered, clapped and waved flags in the streets. The Israeli authorities released 39 Palestinian prisoners, including 6 women and 33 children from 2 prisons as part of the second batch of the exchange deal with Hamas, the Palestinian news agency Wafa reported. Isra Jabis, a Palestinian detainee freed by Israel under a hostage deal agreed with the Islamist group Hamas, reunited with her family on Sunday. Jabi suffered from burn injuries which are the result of an explosion in her car during what Israel said was an attempt to murder in 2015. She was sentenced to 11 years in jail. Take a look.
روحي حبيبتي والمعتصم
Tens of thousands of pro-Palestinian protesters marched through central London on Saturday to call for a permanent ceasefire in the Gaza Strip, the latest in a series of similar weekend demonstrations in the capital since the 7-week war began. Saturday's rally took place during a 4-day truce between Israel and the Palestinian Islamist group Hamas, the first break in the fighting, but protesters said that was not enough. Demonstrators carrying signs such as "Ceasefire Now" and "Stop the War on Gaza" walked peacefully along the march route towards the House of Parliament. Protesters carried Palestinian flags and held signs calling for a permanent ceasefire in Gaza. Some protesters chanted from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, quote-unquote. UK-based Palestine Solidarity Campaign, which organised Saturday's march, said the 4-day truce agreed between Israel and the Palestinian Islamist group Hamas was only a brief and the partial respite for the people of Gaza. Aerial footage over the protest route city's centre showed a slow-moving crowd carrying flags and banners. A police helicopter was monitoring the protest from above. The London Metropolitan Police reported that a small number of the protesters were arrested for unlawful activities. Just a few weeks ago, former Interior Minister Suella Braverman was fired by Prime Minister Rishi Sunak after she had claimed that police was very lenient on the pro-Palestinian protesters. After more than a month of Palestinian rocket fire and Israeli airstrikes, a temporary truce on Friday brought a rare silence over the Gaza Strip. With the ceasefire taking hold, displaced Palestinians, including those from heavily bombarded areas, cautiously returned to their homes. In the southern city of Khan Yunis, streets were filled with...
The tentative ceasefire between Israeli forces and Palestinian militants took hold. Some of the hundreds of thousands of Gaza residents who fled fighting decided to try and return to whatever was left of their homes. In the southern city of Khan Yunis, which has been housing thousands of displaced families, including from heavily bombarded northern Gaza, streets were packed with people on the move. Ahmed Wael told Reuters he felt happy and at ease.
I am going back to my home. Our hearts are rested, especially because there is a 4-day official ceasefire, better than returning to live in tents. I am very tired from sitting there, without any food or water. At home, we can live. We drink tea. We make bread using fire and the oven.
The United Nations says around 2/3 of Gaza's 2.3 million residents are now homeless, including most of the population of Gaza City and the rest of the northern half of the enclave, reduced to a wasteland by Israel's assault. Israel invaded the Gaza Strip in an operation it says is aimed at destroying the Hamas Islamist movement governing the enclave, after Hamas fighters launched a surprise attack on Israeli communities, killing 1,200 people and taking hundreds of hostages. Palestinian health authorities say more than 12,000 people have been killed in the devastating Israeli assault that reduced swaths of the densely populated territory to rubble. Israeli planes dropped leaflets in the southern part of Gaza, telling residents not to attempt to return to the north, which it said remained a war zone and was not safe. Many Palestinians worried they would never be able to return. Ala al-Mubashar fled Gaza City. She sat with her children outside a hospital in Khan Yunis, watching others flood the streets.
I see people coming and going, and I swear my soul is crying. My heart is crying. I just want to go back, even if just for an hour, to see my house and the neighborhood, to see Gaza City and what happened to it.
She and her children have been living inside a school converted into a shelter.
I went back before the Jews set up a checkpoint. There was no neighborhood or anything. Everything was destroyed. What about the people? Where will they go? When there is a ceasefire, where will people go?
Once more, a Lebanese citizen now faces displacement as conflict spills across the border. Now, this particular citizen is part of the 50,000 people, as per the UN, forced to flee due to clashes on Lebanon's border with Israel. This marks the third instance where conflict has uprooted her life. Here's more.
Rose Rostem has had her life uprooted before. This time, she's among the some 50,000 people the UN says have been displaced because of clashes on Lebanon's border with Israel. On October 7th, a war started between Gaza and Israel. Hezbollah started firing at Israel, and we live near the border in a village called Burj al-Malouk. Then the shells began to land very close. And we have children. Of course, they get very scared. We couldn't stay in the house and hear the shelling and firing. We were frightened. We then went to Sidon, to my brother-in-law's house.
ونزلنا على صيدا عم بيت خي جوزي.
It marks the third time conflict has driven her from her home. During Lebanon's civil war in the 1980s, she moved twice. The first time because of Israeli bombardment. The second was to flee Palestinian militant attacks. Lebanon is a nation of displaced peoples. The influx of Palestinians following the creation of Israel in 1948 helped spark the Lebanese civil war decades later. In 2006, hundreds of thousands were displaced during the Israel and Hezbollah war. Then came Syria's civil war in 2011, which led to the arrival of 1.5 million refugees. That, combined with the 2019 financial collapse, which destroyed Lebanon's economy, has left many without income or job. The combination of economic despair and the influx of refugees is sparking tension with locals. Meanwhile, many refugees, faced with growing hostility and low work prospects, are eyeing Europe and other countries. Rostem says her family used to be comfortable when her husband sold car parts. But he was forced to close up shop when the fighting began. Now she checks the news to see if her house was among the latest hit by rockets.
That's all we have in this edition of the Bulletin. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day ahead.
ChatGPT. It can generate codes and human-like responses through text, write stories, and do a lot more.
I work in a newsroom with anchors, researchers and scriptwriters, graphic artists, producers, video editors, camera crew. But does a newsroom really need them today?
All of us have to think about unique and distinctive value addition that cannot be automated or repeated or replaced by a machine.
ChatGPT may kill many companies.
A human has to be in the loop with an ability to control this.
Dark Side of the Boom. Streaming now.